In order for us to understand what is heritage tourism, we need to define first what is heritage. For in heritage is a word with a lot of meanings, and it is actually relating to its general interpretation as that which is inherited from the past. Therefore, heritage tourism is a traveling to experience the places and activities that authentically representation of the stories and people of the past and the present. Heritage tourism also occupies a significant proportion of the cultural spectrum. Therefore, heritage tourism will often overlap with other tourism products where historic or human influences are significant. Types of heritage tourism. Cultural heritage sites. It includes hundreds of historic buildings and town sites, important archaeological sites, and works of monumental sculpture and painting. Natural heritage sites are restricted to those natural areas that furnish outstanding examples of Earth's record of life or its geologic processes, provide excellent examples of ongoing ecological and biological evolutionary processes, contain natural phenomena that are rare, unique, superlative of outstanding beauty, or furnish habitats for rare or endangered animals or plants, or are sites of exceptional biodiversity. Mixed heritage sites, it is actually the combination of cultural and natural heritage sites.
Culinary heritage of the Philippines.
Sisig is a Filipino dish made from parts of a pig's face and belly and chicken liver, which is usually seasoned with calamansi, onions, and chili peppers. It originates from Pampanga region in Luzon. Sisig is a staple of Pampangan cuisine. Next is Philippine adobo. It's a popular Filipino dish and cooking process in Philippine cuisine that involves meat, seafood, or vegetables marinated in vinegar, soy sauce, garlic, bay leaves, and black peppercorns, which is browned in oil and shimmered in the marinated. It has occasionally been considered the unofficial national dish in the Philippines. Let's admit it, there's definitely no contest about it. The lechon Cebu is hands down the best and most delicious. This is because Cebu lechon is best known for its crunchy golden red skin and tender, juicy, flavorsome meat. Lechon has already been considered as a national dish and has become a huge hit that gatherings, feasts, parties, or even plain to visit to Cebu will not be complete without having a taste of the finger-linking roasted suckling pig.
Filipino Heritage Festival in the Philippines. So let's proceed to the Ati-Atihan Festival. The Ati-Atihan Festival is Philippine festival held annually in January in honor of Santo Niño, Holy Child or Infant Jesus, in several towns of the province of Aklan, Panay Island. The biggest celebration is held during the third Sunday of January in the town of Calibo, the province's capital. The name Ati-Atihan means to imitate the Ati people. The festival consists of religious processions and street parades, showcase themed clothes, dancing groups, wearing colorful costumes, marching bands, and people sporting face and body paints. The next one, Sinulog Festival. The Sinulog Santo Niño Festival is annually cultural and religious festival held on the third Sunday of January in Cebu City and on the fourth Sunday of January in Carmen, Cebu, and is the center of Santo Niño Catholic celebrations in the Philippines. The festival festival is considered to the first and biggest festival in the Philippines, with every celebration of the festival probably attracting around 1 to 15 million people all over the world every year. Aside from the religious aspect of the festival, Sinulog is also famous for its street parties usually happening at night before and at night of the main festival. The festival is nicknamed the grandest festival in the Philippines. Mascara Festival. The Mascara Festival is an annual festival held in Bacolod, Philippines, culminating of the fourth Sunday in October. It takes place on the October 22 this year as one of the nation's biggest festival. It's been known as a time for locals and foreigners to have fun, drink, and party on the city streets for over 40 years. Starting in 1980, the Festival was born out of crisis and tragedy when the prices of sugar, the primary life food source, were at all-time low. The smiling mascara used in the festival were declaration of Bacolod locals' resilience in the face of challenges and tragedy, promoting the city to become known as the City of Smiles.
Importance of heritage.
Heritage is important because in helping shape our identity, heritage become part of what we are. Our expression of this identity show others what we value. It highlights our value and priorities. Our heritage provides clues to our past and how our society has evolved. It helps us examine our history and tradition and enables us development on awareness about ourselves. It helps us understand and explain why we are the way we are. Heritage is a keystone of our culture that plays an important role in our politics, society, business, and worldviews. It informs, influence, and inspire public debate and policy, both direct and indirect. Preserving our heritage is important because a local heritage project can be much more than just preserving and protecting artifacts of the past.
Protecting our Philippine heritage. Cultural heritage is essential to protecting our sense of who we are. It gives us an irrefutable connection to the past, to certain social values, beliefs, customs, and traditions that allows us to identify ourselves with others and deepen our sense of unity, belonging, and national pride. Speaking of purely heritage itself, the Philippines really has a lot to offer. Despite the development and the modernization of its lands, its history stays alive through its diverse culture. Every one of its 7,000 islands, from Batanes to Sulu, has its own distinct culture, and we should be proud of this diversity and variety. But sadly, some of the great heritage sites in our country are taken granted by us. Some doesn't appreciate the importance of these things in our identities as Filipinos. Even the government doesn't prioritize things related to our culture. Yes, there are far more important things to consider like our country's development, but we should also be putting some of our time and attention to our culture, for it is a very important element in our country's development. Because of heritage, there is tourism. Because of culture and heritage, there is the performing arts. Because of history, there are Filipinos. Heritage, culture, and history, these are the things that can't be separated. These are the things that defines our country and ourselves. We should learn to love and protect them. For without them, we are nothing.
Philippines receive sustainable development of cultural and heritage tourism. World Heritage Sites create jobs, they promote local activity through arts and craft, they foster tourism and they generate revenues. Increasing numbers of tourists at World Heritage Sites means that tourism development and visitor management require effective, cooperative commitment and coordination between all stakeholders in the heritage and tourism sectors. To be sustainable, tourism has to contribute to protecting the resources it depends on for development, advocate clear principles and policies concerning heritage preservation and sustainable development of tourism at an international level. States will then integrate and apply these at national levels, adapted to their own specific context.
Promoting heritage tourism. First, what is promoting heritage tourism? Means maintaining the cultural diversity and promoting intercultural dialogue in a context of global increasing standardization. So now, how can we promote heritage tourism? One of the most impactful ways that tourism can promote cultural heritage is through community empowerment. This occurs when tourists are educated about the history and tradition of the local community. I will give you the 10 tips on how to promote tourism heritage. It can be through number 1, storytelling to the tourists. Like what I've said earlier, it occurs when tourists are educated about the history and traditions. The second one is reach a wider audience with a podcast or by YouTube. Interpret museums and cultural heritage or other heritage sites. Experiment with new forms of marketing to tell their original and unique stories. Podcasting and YouTube is one of the most compelling modern ways for heritage sites to showcase their subject matter, experts, and expertise. The third one is create experiential marketing moments. When visitors choose your heritage sites, what type of experiences are they signing up for? Dioramas and guided tours are fine, but for fans to feel compelled to share their experiences with others, your heritage sites need to create lasting impressions. For the fourth one is market your region, not just your attraction. Many heritage sites stand as a symbol for a greater regional culture. When you choose to celebrate the unique legacy and culture of your greater community, you attract visitors who don't just want to spend an afternoon at historic site, but are looking for an in-depth understanding of region's cultural history. And for the fifth one is become known for an annual event, hosting an exciting annual event like a marathon, a mass ball, a parade, or a culture-specific holiday celebration can be an invigorating way to attract visitors who might otherwise be ambivalent about your heritage site. Festivals are one of the most cultural on-brand ways to make a big impact with an annual event. Number 6, make a headlines. Most of people are addicted to news, and there's a lot of bad news out there. Your heritage site can be an antidote to all the sorrows and strife by making headlines about new discoveries, refurbishment, and research. Number 7, embrace sustainability. Sustainability is closely in line with the mission of the heritage sites, which is the preservation of culture and history. Becoming known as a heritage site that respect and proactively engage in environmental sustainability is quickly becoming a mandatory effort, and it's not just about marketing.
Before I give the 3 examples about UNESCO heritage sites in the Philippines, let us know first what is UNESCO. The United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, or UNESCO, was born on November 16, 1945. UNESCO has 195 members and 8 associate members and is governed by the General Conference and the Executive Board. And UNESCO's mission is to contribute to the building of a culture of peace, the eradication of poverty, sustainable development, and intercultural dialogue through education, the sciences, culture, communication, and information. So now let us proceed to UNESCO's heritage sites in the Philippines. First, topping the list of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites Philippines is the Cordillera Rice Terraces. It is a cultural type of heritage located in Ifugao Province, and it's been inscribed by the UNESCO in the year 1995. It is an outstanding example of an evolved, living cultural landscape that can be traced as far back as 2,000 years ago. While this UNESCO World Heritage Site was built 8,000 years ago, the traditional farming technique is still practiced to this day. That's why the rice terraces of the Philippine Cordillera are an important part of the Philippine culture and identity. It is also a living testament to the sophistication of pre-colonial Filipinos because of the Cordilleras were hardly affected by the colonization. Among the World Heritage Sites in the Philippines, the rice terraces of the Philippine Cordilleras have such a powerful presence that makes them one of the most outstanding places in the country. It is also shows the harmony between humankind and environment. Second, one of the most remarkable heritage sites in the Philippines is the Tubataha Reef Natural Park. Located in Palawan, it is a natural type of heritage and it's been inscribed by the UNESCO in the year 1993 and 2009. Most people consider this UNESCO World Heritage Site as every diverse dream as it covers 130,028 hectares including the North and South Reefs. Tubataha Reef Natural Park is one of the Philippines' best diving spots where you can see the over 350 species of coral reefs and almost 500 species of fish. The reserve also protects one of the few remaining colonies of the breeding seabirds in the region. And the last, the Puerto Princesa Subterranean River National Park.
Piliin mo rin ang Pilipinas, kapulo ang kwintas ng perlas. Piliin mo yakapin.
It's one of the world's most impressive cave systems. What makes it to the UNESCO World Heritage Sites Philippines is its uniquely and impressive features of a spectacular limestone karst landscape, pristine natural beauty, and intact old-growth forest and distinctive wildlife. Located in Puerto Princesa, Palawan, it is a natural type of heritage and it's been inscribed by the UNESCO in the year 1999. With an underground river measuring up to 8.2 kilometers, it is said to be among the longest in the world. The highlight of the heritage site Puerto Princesa Subterranean River National Park is that it flows directly into the sea, with its brackish lower half subjected to the tidal influence, distinguishing it as a significant natural global phenomenon.
At ang ngiti ng may kapal, taglay ng bawat nila.
The Republic Act 10066. It is an act providing for the protection and conservation of the national cultural heritage, strengthening the National Commission for Culture and the Arts or the NCCA and its affiliated cultural agencies, and for other purposes. It was also signed by the former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo on March 26, 2010. The drafting of the Omnibus Cultural Heritage Law, or otherwise known as the Philippine Cultural Heritage Act, aimed to provide for the protection, preservation, and promotion of the nation's cultural heritage. This began as an interface program within the Subcommission for Cultural Heritage, or the SCH, of the National Commission for Culture and the Arts, or NCCA, in 1994. Finally, on March 26, 2010, the President signed into law the RA 10066 with the support of the PA on Culture Cecil Guidotti Alvarez and encouragement from NCCA Chairperson Vilma L. Labrador.
Contribution of heritage tourism in the Philippines.
Cultural heritage refers to our most fundamental patrimony, the whole Philippine archipelago, without which life is impossible. It includes palpable inheritance, the land, seas, fauna and flora, and other natural resources, including the hazards, dangers, and drawbacks in these islands. We receive monumental structured ruins, 3 trillion foreign debt as of 2005. Slums and garbage, pollution, and prevailing social and economic differences between dominant Christians and Muslims, and between urban cosmopolitan centers and remote barrios. Moreover, cultural heritage contains intangible legacies: language, literature, religion, beliefs, values, heroes, villains, psychological and emotional temperament, and colonial mentality. The history and culture of the Philippines are reflected in its architectural heritage, in the lodges of its various people, in mosques and churches, and in buildings that have been risen in response to the demands of progress and aspirations of a person.